What we don't get is this. We don't get that we've actually been put here for a purpose other than being consumers. That's what we don't get. When you think of how far we have bought into that mythology, it is extraordinary.
We are focusing out here. We're too busy entertaining ourselves with television and movies and everything else that we've got. We're too busy deciding what we'll wear, what we won't wear, what we'll say and what we won't say, rather than actually going on this incredible journey into inner space.
We all consent to the same hallucination of a virtual reality or a virtual world which we see on the media and which is projected and presented to us, and we buy into that mythology.
In most Western countries, most people watch more than 20 hours of television per week, right? So in a place where the number one excuse for not exercising is I don't have time, the average punter sits on the couch for 20 hours a week watching telly. Why do we say it's about time? We say it's about time because we don't want to say it's about us.
If someone truly wants happiness or satisfaction, first, turn off the plasma television set. Refrain from reading the news today. Just step back from all of the bad news that's around you. It'll be all around you tomorrow and the day after. So step back. The world will go on without your opinion of it. The world will go on whether you have read the news or not. What effect can you have on that news?
It's all about people making themselves right. And whenever we judge someone, we are making ourselves right, but all we're doing is justifying our tiny model of the world.
When you see somebody, you'll make a judgment based on their clothes, based on the way they look, based on their color, based on their sex. And this is a judgment that it will just happen instantaneously. Whether you decide to energize it with some action, whether you decide to energize it with beliefs, whether you decide to energize it with some racism, is a choice. And so it's beautiful to acknowledge that you will have judgments, also to give yourself the choice of whether you're going to energize that.
Every single one of us has our own model of the world. But here's what's interesting. Imagine if it was true that your model of the world was 0.00067% of a total possibility.
If I want to be right at all costs, and in my right, wanting to be right, I make you wrong, that is the thing that I think really drives a wedge between people.
Most people are afraid to go inside. Most people have this feeling that they're not good enough, that they don't deserve things. And I think on a lot of levels that's why they start accumulating, why they abuse power, because that is false strength.
Our modern economies teach us that quality of life is about how much money you have in your pocket, but there's more than enough evidence to show us that the more money you have, the less happy you are.
Life is simple. If you do more of what you love, you'll simply love more of what you do. And if you love more of what you do, you'll love life more. Simple. It's not complicated. It's a very, very simple way of being.
We need to get to the point where we go, well, for me, what are the rules for my life? What are my standards? And I think for all of us, we need to say, all right, well, what's important to me? And I want to live a lifestyle which is reflective of those values. I want to live a lifestyle which is reflective of what I think is truly important to live a healthy, life.
If you're a writer, write. If you're an artist, paint. If you're a poet, create words that just seem to come together and enliven our hearts. Do what it is you love, even if it's a hobby. And if everyone started doing that, could you imagine what the world would be like?
Live your life and develop an incredible amount of respect for yourself, an amount of respect for other people,